Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Tuesday, July 14th. Hope everybody's having a fantastic start to your morning. Let's get into the charts here. Let's take a look at some of the key levels here on the Nasdaq, which we got quite a few. Let's bring this guy over. All right, first off, we're going to start off with a key level at the 30.041. Another key level at the 30.025. Another key level at the 29.952. Got a big unbalanced volume, seller's unbalanced volume area here, sitting pretty much from key level to key level. Okay. I have refined this a little bit further with my AVT strategy. To look for some shorts at the 30.014 to the 29.974. Got another piece of seller unbalanced volume at the 29.905 to the 29.870. Yesterday's value area high sitting at the 29.663. I actually had a perfect tap in right into it. I unfortunately was taking a shower right around that time. We just entered into some buyer unbalanced volume. Sorry for that terrible B right there. But this buyer unbalanced volume is at the 29.596 to the 29.554. This is a daily band right here. So I'm just really at this point not looking to trade this. We've got CPI numbers coming out in about 23 minutes. But I'm more curious to see what the market's going to do here. If we are going to continue the push to the downside, or if we are going to get support here and continue with the, it's going to have to get over this value area high from yesterday. But we'll see how it reacts. Right now, we are getting a reaction out of it. So we'll see. We've got yesterday's point of control, 29.499. Yesterday's value area low at the 29.468. Key level at the 29.445. And another key level at the 29.386. Another big piece of buyer unbalanced volume sitting between the 29.420 and the 29.371. And then our last key level at the 29.303. And again, buyer unbalanced volume. Ended up taking a trade from here last night. Let's see if it shows up here. There it is. All right. So what my plan was here, and again, if you're wondering, if you're new to the stream and you're wondering, hey Rob, where all of these bands coming from? Well, every single morning I post on my Discord these levels that you'll see right here. This is gold. Let's go to the NQ. So these are the bands that I post every single morning that I'm looking at for support, resistance, supply, demand. I call it unbalanced volume. And then I've got bands that I provide you guys with on Sunday, which are my weekly bands. And this was the trade that I ended up taking last night. We've ended up taking 3 trades from our weekly bands. I ended up taking a long, not yesterday, but the prior night from this band right here. Had a $900 target with a $256 stop loss. And I ended up getting stopped out right to the tick just to see literally the second that tick got hit, we went right to TP land. Yesterday with you guys on stream, took a trade right here for about 100 and I want to say it was close to 100 and I don't remember, like 120 points or something like that. And then last night ended up taking this trade right here. And I got 103 points out of that, which was this trade right here. Now, my thinking here was, this is the weekly band right here. So the weekly band sits from the 316 all the way down to the 29,245. I had refined it even lower at the 29,288 to the 29,245. So my strategy, what I think is the best way to trade these bands, in my opinion, is either you've got a limit order here at your at the band at the top, stop loss sitting at the bottom of the band. Go for at least a 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 2 risk to reward. These are pretty big trades, so you've got to size accordingly. I still trade with my footprint confirmations on the 60 range. You can even go down to you can go up to the 120 range if you want even a better confirmation. The only issue with the 120 is that you might get an entry somewhere here at the top where your risk to reward is not going to be the greatest. But what my thought process was here is take an entry position. So I just took 1 micro right here off this first flip with the intention of adding 2 more micros down here for a total position of 3 micro contracts. Now, it didn't happen, of course, because we literally tapped right in and we were off to the races. And I ended up taking 103 points on this trade on the NQ here last night. But unfortunately, I only got it with 1 micro. So that was the only issue here is that the trade really P&L wise wasn't the greatest, but I at least didn't miss the move because I obviously was looking to add 2 micros right down here. Ended up taking 1 up here just so I don't miss the move, which ended up being the right decision. So that's the NQ. Let's go to where price action's at. All right, we're digging deeper into this unbalanced volume area here from buyers. So again, mainly using this band right now just to kind of see, trying to feel out the market and see what, if they want to chew through this volume and continue to the downside, or if we are going to get support from here and race to the upside. We do have CPI numbers coming out in about 17 minutes, so should get pretty volatile here. Now let's go to the ES. We'll start, let's go all the way up here. There we go. All right, we've got key levels at the 76.15, 76.07. We've got value area high sitting right here at the 75.93. Yesterday's point of control, 75.63. Another key level at the 75.57. Another key level at the 75.47. Yesterday's value area low. And another key level at the 75.31. And that's it for the ES. But now let's take a look at where we're currently sitting on the ES. So if we start off on the weekly, we have pretty much, my video came out on Sunday, so somewhere right around here. This is Tuesday. Yeah, right around here. There's the gap. So the only thing we had on the ES was this level at the 75.52. As you can see, this is pretty much where we gravitated straight down to, and this is where we have been, market has not been able to break down below there. We do have a weekly band coming up here on the ES at the 74.59 to the 74.08 with a tradable level at the 74.58. Sorry for marking that one up like that. There you go. So that's the weekly. Now, if we take a look at the daily bands, we've got a band sitting right above us. We've got a few. So we've got a band here on the ES. This is all sellers at the 76.10 to the 75.79. Got a 5-minute level at the 75.85. And then we've got buyers sitting down here at the 74.93 to the 74.69 with tradable level at the 74.81 and the 74.58. Take a look at gold. Oh, we did tap back into this daily band here at the 4075.8 to the 4060.3. We've got a key level here. We had a band yesterday that was sitting right over here. Perfect rejection off the band. And we left this level here at the 3987.1. And then if we take a look at the weekly gold, I mean, this is, we captured this extremely well. Extremely well. We got the first rejection off the band because we came in Sunday levels right here, came down, had a nice bounce. We finally broke through, got support from this band, got now rejection from the band from below. Pretty nice. Good CPI morning to you too, Bob. Joe, good morning. Keith, good morning. Miss K911, good morning. Lauren, good morning. How do I join? Not sure what you want to join, Lauren. If you're looking to join my signal group, there is a link right there. Obviously, otherwise I'm live here every morning. Trader 007, good morning. J Loves, good morning to you. Kevin, good morning. We had an interesting afternoon, evening last night. Our air conditioning Our air conditioning on the first floor went out, and we've got like an extreme heat wave that just hit. It was about 90 yesterday. It's supposed to get up to like 93, 95 the rest couple of days. So got somebody coming here this morning to take a look at it. Actually, a good friend of mine coming over to take a look at it. Oh, we definitely reacted off of that band. That's for sure. That's a pretty nice reaction right there off that band. We've got a lot of space right here for the market to do what it needs to do. So if we get a good rip from CPI, it's got a pretty big, it's got a lot of pretty much balanced volume here that it can travel right through. So we'll see. Two minutes to news here. Good morning, Tiger. Remember what I just said. Got a lot of room here if it wants to. There you go. Tapped right into that band. Got a good reaction off the band. I mean, I just said this whole area here was a big void. It's very easy for it to get through there. CPI came in at 3.5, forecasted at 3.8. Looks like it churned through that band right there. A lot of headlines coming out right now from the Fed. Labor market appears broadly stable. Production growth has been strong. Predicting gains from AI adoption. The Fed is monitoring implications for inflation and the labor market. Housing sector continues to lag. Household consumption growth is moderate. Manufacturing output has moved up steadily this year. And then Fed's wash, if we get policy right, and we will, the inflation surge of the last 5 years will be a thing of the past. Okay. Pretty bullish headlines there from the Fed. That was a nice 250-point move. I mean, we talked about it right before the report came out. I said there's a big void right here. Big void. And I said the market could go right through that really quickly. This was really the first roadblock that it had, was this band that we had identified already at the 29,905s. We had a huge inefficiency right here in the market that we're probably going to fill in. Huge gap right there. So it's going to definitely want to clean this up right here. Pretty balanced area right here right now. Like I said, I think they fill in this efficiency. We might get we might get a move back to the upside or go down. No real bias right now. Morning, Todd. William, good morning. We should clean this whole entire shaded box up here. Well, if you were watching the stream early this morning, maybe a few minutes before news hit, I had said that pretty much this entire area was completely it was completely balanced. So there's really nothing in its way, minus the band that we had put in here that I deleted already. We had a band, and that's exactly what we ended up doing. It was a 250 point rip to the upside. Now, a lot of the statements that are coming out from the Fed this morning are pretty bullish, so we'll see how that equates. And this band that we have right here is just an inefficiency in the market on this spike to the upside. You can see here delta was pretty much zero right here. So my thought was up here that we definitely come and we at least balance out this inefficiency, create a healthy auction here. So English on CPI, that's a consumer price index. So the lower the number, the better. So they were expecting, I believe it was 3.8. Let's see, where did my Forex Factory come in at? Yeah, they were expecting 3.8. Previous was 4.2. We're currently at 3.5. So it's actually bullish. It's pretty bullish. Economic numbers. And again, everything that the Fed's been saying so far, minus a few little statements here, but yeah. Poly market just changed. They're seeing the wages, or I should say the bets on the Fed rate increase now just reduced dramatically. Because that also obviously helps with inflation. There you go. So we filled that in there. You know, this news created such a huge gap to the upside that now you almost got this whole entire region right now that's, it was already balanced for the most part, but really not much that's tradable right here right now. This area right here does not look too shabby. From the 29,596 to the 29,570. This could be a great area here to look for a long. Correct. Well, it doesn't mean that there's going to be no rate hike, but the probability of it would be much, much less. You know, unless we get a super hot labor employment news coming out, or a very high inflationary number that comes out prior to then, the likelihood of a rate increase is pretty slim right now. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna use the washroom. All right, so now what are our thoughts here on the NQ? So some areas to wait for. Maybe a tap in here into this buyer unbalanced volume at the 29,596 to the 570. Or you could tap into all of this volume. All this volume that's sitting up here was from sellers. And that starts from the 41s down to the about 52s. So we'll look for maybe some shorts up there. Offer use. Rob, is your trade recap at the beginning of the stream? Yeah, the one that I took from last night off the band. We don't got much going on right now, so we can chat about it. So I believe that trade was right here. Let's see. Right here. So again, pretty simple trade. Again, if we go back to our Sunday video, this was the weekly band that I took the trade from yesterday, or last night, I should say, from this 29,317 to the 29,246. Again, I give you guys a couple examples on how you could trade it. Limit order to go long at the top of the band, stop loss sitting at the bottom of the band. You might even want to give yourself an extra 3 or 4 points. I know that from too much experience. And then at least a 1.5 to 1 to 2 risk to reward is what I would be looking for, at least on there. At least a 1.5 to a 2 RR. All right, and then to refine. So how do we try to find our best entry possible? And this is kind of like the trickier part, but if you understand the AVT setup that I've shown you guys, if you drop to the 120 range, which is where we typically start on the AVT strategy, we go to where that unbalanced volume was sitting at, which is right here. No, it's right here, sorry. And now let's move this over. Well, let's go to the origination of this so you guys can see where this came from. I really wish you could scroll a little easier. All right, so this should look familiar to everybody. This is your AVT setup. Impulsive move to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unbalanced volume sitting right here. So that's how I kind of cut up this weekly band and then kind of created this secondary, more defined area that I'd like to take a long at. So now let's get back to where price action, where I ended up taking this trade. So you can say, Rob, your entry order was all the way up here. Why was it all the way up there? Why didn't you wait for it to come down to here? Well, I was talking to the monitor last night, asking for price action to come back down, because what my theory is, and this is going to be completely different for every single trader. But for position size, my ideal position size on these bands would be 3 micro contracts. Okay. So in order for me to get the best risk to reward, and it was very apparent, if I was taking a trade from here to where I was targeting, which I believe was yesterday's value area, I think it was value area high for the actual session, or point of control. I'm sorry, it was point of control for the for the Globex session. That's where that TP came from. But my risk to reward from here to there was like 1 to 4. Now my risk to reward from like here was like 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5. I'm sorry, this was a 1 to 3. This was like a 1 to almost a 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5. So, but what I have obviously noticed on a lot of the bands is that we don't necessarily always get the exact touch to, and that's why I'm keeping this on my chart, because I have no issue with price action coming back down here and tapping into this and looking for another trading opportunity from here. because I know that they did not tap into the bulk of the unbalanced volume. So what I ended up doing is once I got my flip here on the 60 range, or my confirmation on the 60 range, I ended up taking 1 micro position long. And then what I was hoping for was I was hoping that with price action could take another little dip here, and I'd be able to add 2 more positions down here and then bring my overall position to right around there and then let it rip to the upside. Well, I didn't get that opportunity because the market just pretty much ripped from there, 103 points. So that was a trade from last night. We got 13 minutes for market open here. You got it, bud. And I'm going to be opening up a channel on my Discord. Should be open up tonight. That's going to be like a question, kind of a question forum. And I guess people could kind of like rate on like how many people have the same question, so that I could do some short videos on YouTube on them, and I can cover them over YouTube. So kind of give us some content to help create on things that you guys might have questions on, or you guys see me do and you guys have no clue what's going on. I think most of you guys get it, but just in case. Looks like the market wants to retrace that whole CPI move. We also should be able to move through this little area right here pretty quickly. We got a breakdown here. All right, we got 8 minutes here for market to open. Let me go refresh my coffee. Be right back. All right, 4 minutes here for the market open. So again, just a little quick recap here on some areas that I'm be looking at for some interest here. We got some buyer unbalanced volume sitting down here at the 29,596 to the 570. We also got some confluences down here. We've got the point of control sitting right here as well. So this is going to be an area of interest. And then we've got a Pretty large volume area right here, unbalanced from sellers, starting from the 41s to down to the 52, and then a little bit more refined from the 14s to the 74s down here, or up here, I should say. Guys, if you don't mind, if you guys can hit the like on the stream, I appreciate it. I don't ask for much. All right, here we go. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a little inefficiency in the market right here as well. So that probably wants to get filled in as well. Let me see what this would look like over here. So I'm just going to leave a resting limit down there. Again, we got point of control. We got unbalanced volume sitting down here. We got some pretty good confluences here. That's got an interesting point here. At this point, I think the PPI will have more weight the super core keeps a lot out. Looks like weights are being changed, so July's numbers are not the same as June's. So a lot of extra work has to be done to get back to apples. I personally think the biggest driver right now is going to be some employment news. How employment news starts coming out. I also would like to see some tech earnings come out and see what that's looking like. I think so much of our financial markets right now are weighted on the technology side. We're a service-based country. Morning, AP. And again, if you're just joining, some areas of interest. Obviously, we've got some buyer unbalanced volume sitting here from the 29,599 to the 569. That's where I got my order set up here. Got a nice little confluence here as well. We got the point of control, the overnight point of control sitting right there as well. To the top side, we've got a pretty strong seller side weekly band here from the 41s down to the 52s. And then below us, we've got some key levels here that I've mapped out already for you guys. Another piece of buyer unbalanced volume. This was a weekly band that did end up taking a trade yesterday. We never tapped into this little golden area down here. It's not gold, but blueing area. So I'll be looking for something there as well. Something here as well. So we got some setups here. We got kind of a big space in between both of these possible setups here. So just kind of stay patient and see what happens. Morning, Nate. Kind of just stuck in this range right now. Tight range here for the first 15 minutes of the market. Morning, Chum Sauce. Come on, market. We gotta do something here. Maybe the market wasn't factoring in so much the CPI. Maybe it was already pre-factored in. Whoa. My son just texted me he's up $1,200 today. Holy shit. Damn, kid. Good job. Holy shit. It's a good morning. Market collecting the money and we'll break out. Up or down, but I guess more down. I mean, this whole move, I pretty much called out pretty well. I said that there was really nothing in its way, so we could see a pretty big, I don't know. What is of super interest to them? I mean, based on the range, the ranginess of the opening 15, 20 minutes of the market, yeah, I would kind of put my guess down here. You know, either tapping in here or tapping in over here. I guess it's almost like a toss-up again. I guess like everything in trading. Yeah, this is the daily right here. It's just, there's a big open void. Because you got to remember on the weekly, these Sunday bands, a majority of them have been already, this one's been tapped into, that one's been tapped into. I think they all have. Yeah, all three of these have been tapped into. Traded all three of them. Well, Nordic says it needs to visit 29,600s. I do agree with you. I do have a resting order right there. And I might try to trade that on my Ninja Trader. Sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. On my Ninja Trader cash account as well. I don't know why this chart just swapped spots. Wow, that was hard. So we'll see. But I gotta agree, I think this is gonna be a pretty good region. Doesn't want to go any more than that. This guy down just a bit. That's what I always try to say, is try to trade the extremes. I mean, I get caught in the pickle. You've seen me get caught in the pickle many times as well, but it's usually a good policy. Damn. My son took 3 trades already this morning. Up $1,200. Better than me, buddy. He's gonna need it. He's gonna need it pretty soon. He did tell me last night that he does plan on rushing this year, so that'll be interesting. Oops, I just knocked into my microphone. And this looks very trappy right here. This definitely looks like an area where you could see a manipulation move and then an Uno reversal card. I mean, I'd love to keep playing. I'd love to play this range, but I just don't want to get stuck here and chop. I mean, this right here. The only thing that's left unbalanced is sitting down here. Pretty much right at the value area low of the session right now. It's the only thing I see. Again, I probably wouldn't trade that. We got the reaction here. So we got currently an ATR on the 5 minute at 60 points. The 1 minute sitting at about 37 points. Morning, FTDK. All right, yesterday's value area high. Oh man, 3 in college at the same time. That is financially devastating, man. Ouchie mama. I mean, I did have 3 kids in private school for 9 years straight. But 3 kids in college, man, that's... At the same time, that's tough. Hopefully they're brilliant. They got some good scholarships. Kind of having some trouble here at the value area high from yesterday. Probably retest the value area low here. I think that's a good deal. I'll take that trade-off. I know some really good 5% down mortgage options. I'll take that over tuition any day of the week. All right, let's see what happens here now. Buyers are getting beat up here pretty good. Yeah, I actually had to exclude them. I had to exclude both my kids that are driving right now from my Tesla and my sports car. It was ridiculous. So they can only drive my wife's car. Well, my son has a car, but my daughter who's driving, she can only drive my wife's car, and that's even stupidly expensive. Don't know why that's not working. Maybe it was this one that I need to do? I don't think so. Oh, so I think the trailing stop, I got to do it from here. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's kind of cool. So if I do that like that, let's just see how that works. What the hell's a trail offset? I guess it doesn't work. I don't know what the trail offset. I've never seen that before. It's not working. Yeah. It worked when I first tried it. Let's see if we get a trigger here. Come on. I busted through that one pretty quick. Not looking too good here. Nope, stepped out there. Oh, don't be so dirty. Don't be so dirty. Don't be so dirty, man. Unbelievable. Stopped out almost to the tick again. Unreal. Unreal. Oh my God. Oh, Lordy. Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. Well, pretty dirty stop out right there. Trade idea was right. Stop was not. And this was that big range that we were just kind of stuck in. This is their move out of it. So maybe we'll wait for maybe our 60 range over here. Yeah, 60 range flip, possibly. I'd like to see some sellers step in here, but not really seeing anything. We know we got some buyers trapped up here, but I'm just not really seeing any follow through here yet. Ooh. That was a big old spike. I'm assuming some kind of news hit. Wow, that was massive. That was massive. Anybody know what hit? Warsh is testifying in front of Congress. Okay. Oh, we took out the initial balance there. There's had to have been something there that I don't see anything. I don't see any headline coming out yet. Yeah, I saw that, but that was a wicked candle. It was a 100-point It was a 100.5 second 5 second candle. You would think it would have been more than that, but I hate that I can't see the numbers on these. Biggest that I can do it at. Seems like a tough spot here. And I really felt like we were going to get a full rotation here, and we almost did. I mean, that would have been... Ugh, that was nasty. Actually, we did. Came all the way back up to Valley Area High. I don't know, one thing I will say with DeepCharts is that they got to fix this scaling on their bubbles. I mean, for me to actually see any data in there, I mean, you got to blow up the chart that big to see it. That just, to me, doesn't make any sense. You lose sight of the entire market that way. This bigger, I don't think it does anything. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to go here. Font settings. Hey, it doesn't change the size at all. Looks like a lot of accumulation here. A lot of accumulation. Same spot we were accumulating with the market open. We triggered Buys. Well, my gut says shorts, but my brain says longs right here. I think we pump right into this unbalanced volume area that we're talking about all morning. But we'll see. I think this is a trap for sellers here. I'd like to take one long position on a micro. Looking at the 120 range. 120 looks like it's going to flip pretty strongly. I'm not really seeing much follow through here though. Excuse me. I'm going to try one long there. And where can we target? It's not looking too good right now. Let's see. Got risk there. Let's see if we get a pump here or not. I'm going to cut it at the 120 flip right there. Darn it. We've flipped the 120, which is the reason we were at the value area low to get a flip right here. I don't know. I had a feeling that shorts were getting kind of trapped right there, but maybe a little premature on that move. Oh, I do like the long here again. Alright, I'm gonna give that one more shot there. Where's my stop? Why is my stop down here? Let's put this guy right there. And where's my TP at? Seems pretty lofty, but let's see. Seems very lofty. We'll keep it up there. We'll see if we get a pump here or not. I'll take a look at the point of control if we get up there. Let's see. Really want to see how we react here at the point of control. All right, locking in $50 there. Let's see, what does this look like here? Very high. Okay, full rotation. Wouldn't be so bad. Watching the 120. Looks like we might flip. We might flip to the downside here, so let's see if we can get this push here. Locking in 109 there. Come on. All right, locking in 150. Let's see if we get this little last push here. All right, I'm gonna take it off there. Nice little trade. Would have been nicer with it. Maybe a little bigger position, but not bad. Not bad. 75 points. That's closer to 80 points. Thanks, Tiger. Thanks, Keith. Have a good one, Chum Sauce. If you guys haven't, please hit the like on the stream. I appreciate it. All right, Tiger, have a good one. I gotta move my P&L for 1 second. This guy. All right, guys, 10 a.m. I'm gonna call it a morning. Kind of felt like I worked my. Well, I think we ended up. I think I started the session at $200, so all in all, made 56 bucks. But first trade, this trade was. That was an ugly stop out right there, but it's part of trading. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. If you guys are thinking about purchasing any prop firms, just use code TraderRob and hit like on the stream. I appreciate it. Stay patient, and I'll